let's start with what actually happens inside the body, Dia, because so many people don't get what's going on when they're going through either perimenopause or menopause or postmenopause. I think so many women are blindsided by these symptoms and they don't understand. Can you help us break through and break down the hormonal shifts that kick us off during these times of our lives?
Yes, absolutely. And thank you so much. Great to see you again, Stacey. Great format to talk about taboo topics, right?
Yeah.
And to help people understand what's going on within us and to not feel alone. And that's exactly where I want to start off. Premenopause and menopause is still a taboo topic. It's a big taboo topic because there are things happening within our body which we feel ashamed of, and sometimes we feel even guilty because we can't live our sexuality the way we had it before. We feel, our skin is different. We don't feel as females the way we are used to feel ourselves, feel our body. And the crazy thing is, I know you want me to speak about the hormonal shift, but I really want to kick this off with making you aware, in case you don't know it, that premenopause very often begins as early as 35 years old. It's not that, menopause begins. I always thought that earlier. I thought, oh, it's my grandma, when I'm a granny, then I will not have maybe my menstruation, my cycle. No, it can really start as early as 35, and you can have your normal menstrual cycle, but you're already premenopause. And that is when it really kicks in, when women really do not understand what is happening within their body. And some of these women are still, planning to have kids, and then this is really dragging you off. So what can we do? That's one thing we discussed today, but also creating awareness what is happening in the body. And that was actually your question, and I'm super happy to answer that. What's happening in the body is that it feels like we are losing hormones, your estrogen, your progesterone, your testosterone. Everything begins to shift within you. Shifting means some move up, down, pregnenolone, DHEA, all these things. They are
Yeah.
not there where they have been before. And even though these words may sound like very medically and hormones, okay, what is that? Just to break it down to symptoms, because that may help the people who are listening now to see, oh, am I premenopause? Oh, am I in my menopause? And I didn't even know that I can be in my menopause despite I have a regular cycle. So it affects everything, the serotonin and the dopamine production, right? And what does that mean? You can have anxiety, you can be moody, even apathy. You feel like off, just what's going on? I don't feel anything anymore. I'm
Right.
totally off. Then the GABA, you could really have heavy sleeping disorders,
Hmm.
leading then to panic attack. A lot
Yeah.
of noise sensitivity, and you feel like, oh, I'm hypersensitive now, or what the heck is going on? Or maybe I just have a burnout. I heard that so many times because I'm
Yeah.
so sensitive. All my kids are screaming. I feel like, no, you could be premenopause. Your hormone level has shifted. You are reacting, perceiving, receiving informations differently.
Yeah.
Your oxytocin is like emotional, like an emotional withdrawal, and you feel relational disconnection, could be even to your kids, right?
Yeah.
Menopause and premenopause does not only affect relationship and sexual life, it affects every relation,
Yeah.
even, guess what, with yourself. So self-pleasure, whatever you had in the past, you just feel like I'm disconnected with myself. Then,
Yes.
and very often, unfortunately, it's again, we're having the very bad word here, the cancer topic. And even if it's not cancer, it's the thyroid function. It starts
Hmm.
with a big disorder of the thyroid function. And then, yeah, we gain weight, we lose hair, we always have cold hands, or we feel cold all the time, we have
Hmm.
fatigue. All these kind of things are linked to the thyroid function. And then you get a thyroid medication, but nobody freaking checks what's going on in your hormones. right? And you might
Exactly.
be in menopause or you might be in menopause.
Right.
Please, you get your blood work done and there is a thyroid function disorder. Check your hormonal levels, check in your blood work where you stand, especially if you're 35 plus.
Right.
Yeah, and then, yeah, let's talk about beauty, right? It's important for us as women to feel sexy, sensual, our skin, everything. So yeah, skin and collagen. You have a dry skin, it's sagging, it's dull. The skin is not that plump anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, generally women, they come to us, they come to Nude and they think they have, sometimes they think they have dementia or depression or, as I just said, a burnout. Or,
Yeah.
oh, I think I have a personality disorder. I don't feel connected to my kid. When my partner wants to hug me, I just feel kind of, I don't want that. But what they actually have is that their nervous system started to starve of hormonal support. I know there was a long answer, my dear, but it's really, you can't just break it down, right? It's this beautiful body we are in, and it's individual, and we have individual symptoms, but it's so important we listen to them.
It's so true. There are, I would like, can you tell people a little bit more about Newt and why you're so passionate? Why, why did you focus on creating supplements to help people, and especially really women focused on helping women get through menopause and body changes and getting through perimenopause and as their life cycle changes, and we need more things and we need to figure out things in our body. What made you go in that direction, become so passionate to create this line called Nude?
So, I think we touched that briefly when we spoke last time. Was very
Mhm.
touching for me because nude for me is more than a line. It's actually not a product line. It is a product line. We do offer supplements, and I call it integrative medicine because it's not only supplements. It's
Mhm.
uh, it's let's call it the something which works with your biology, not against it. Which
Yeah.
doesn't kick you and then lets you fall like coughing, for example. So, but did I? Why did I do that? And besides that of course I'm a woman myself, and I feel and hear and see the desire and the need and the pain very often. I created Nude because I was sick and tired myself to see and actually discuss what's going on in the industry. This is a nightmare. The whole industry, the supplements are mostly filled with fillers, and people don't even know that they are fillers. They think magnesium stearate, oh, it's in a magnesium, or maybe silicon dioxide, oh, it's not that bad. No, those are fillers, and it's cheap to fill products with fillers. So I decided I create NOOT. We work on science-based latest science-based biohacking, longevity, hormonal disbalances, all these kind of topics, needs, anti-aging, but of course also the topics no one wants to talk about:
Right.
menopause, libido loss, erection issues, testosterone loss, depression, dementia, fatigue, sleeping disorder, or as my son, and he really suffered from that. He was like, "I'm so overwhelmed. I have anxiety. I don't want to give my best." And then when I'm sitting in my in my exam, I studied so long, and I almost pass out. I can't
Yeah.
I can't access,
Right.
my knowledge. So yes, it was also because I saw what generations that would need. My son's
Yeah.
now 15. What do they need? And they just get stupid psychopharmaca all the time. Sorry, I might be in trouble saying that because I'm an expert myself, and I think it's great that we have these solutions, right? I'm not talking
Yes.
against big pharma here. It's important, but it's not an answer for everything. And I'm in shock.
Exactly.
And I say that straight out loud. I want to scream it out loud.
Yeah.
How easy it is to get psychopharmaca for everything. Or you
Yeah.
feel off, or I feel this, okay, this is what you get. And what's happening? You're
Exactly.
numbing people. I
Right.
do no longer want anybody to be numbered. Nude is created to wake you up, to live the change you want to see, to feel your body, to work with your body. And you know what, Stacey? It's important that we embrace sometimes the darkness and the pain because that's where we grow, right?
Yes.
So Nude
Mhm.
is a community. And we want to bring this awareness as you are doing this with this amazing podcast, with these amazing people you are speaking to. We speak about taboo topics. We speak about topics who others do in a way which we feel, or provide solutions which we feel could be even more harming than helping.
Yeah.
Even people save money to buy something, they think they get help, and then they, oh, sorry, beep, beep, fucked up. It's a
Yeah.
problem. That's why I created NOOT. I created NOOT for myself, for my family, as a mother, and to revolutionize this industry, which is full of marketing lies, and it's making the people very often more sick, giving them hope, selling them crap very often,
Yeah.
then leaving them alone when their symptoms really kick in.
Right, exactly. And, I think we're not only beginning to understand how deeply this affects every layer of a woman's life, but what do we need to know right now that no doctor is telling us? Because a lot of times we just go into a doctor's office and they just give us a prescription for something to mask, the symptoms.
Yeah.
Why are so many women feeling like, they're not really getting the level of success when it comes to their health that they want to reach. When you take these medications and you mask one symptom, when it comes to going through changes in your body as we get older, we develop lots of different symptoms for lots of different reasons. So you can't keep
True.
just taking more and more different medications for every symptom, trying to mask all these symptoms. Sometimes people, feel that it's, they feel like, very depressed because some of these medications start interacting with each other. And, and a lot of times it affects marriages because a lot of times, the medications, they cause side effects. Like some of them can cause erectile dysfunction. Some of them can lower your libido. Some of them can make you very fatigued. These are all things that are going to interfere with your marriage and interfere with your private relationship with your husband. What are some of the things that we could, that you'd like to tell people about that it's not just going to a GYN or going to a doctor and getting a prescription. Why is it so important to try to figure out things more naturally and explain some of the things that they could do to actually help them? Every situation is different, but there are lots of ways naturally that we could, help our body and help our relationships and our marriages and the way we feel and the way we feel on the inside and the outside.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm very happy to do that. And I want to make a little detour because I feel it's very important to come back to the point we just discussed the symptoms. And it's important to understand that you just don't only lose hormones, you really lose your identity, right? And this is what you just
Yes.
said. It affects everything, and can start with brain fog, depression, weight gain, libido loss, mood swings, vaginal dryness, all these night sweats. Yes, you totally disconnect sexually and emotionally, and I think this is normal. But most
Yeah.
importantly, also, if you want to dig deeper and understand yourself better, and you said, what are doctors not very often not looking into? We have great doctors. It's not just per se doctors do not look into it, but if you come there and you say, "Oh, I feel depressed," okay, imagine you just get a psychopharmaca, but you haven't even checked on your trauma lawyer, your personal what has happened in your past. So this also affects the menopause, and we will talk about more what other things we can do from a preventional perspective, but of course also from a self-observation perspective, how we can support our body to not end up in this situation. And I don't mean menopause because we all end up there in a
Yeah.
way, but how we can navigate through it better. So it's very important that you see all the layers. And one layer, of course, is the environment. Where do I live in? Do I have a healthy relationship? Do I feel depressed for a different reason? Do I have a childhood trauma, which I never worked on? Very often in premenopause or menopause, this kicks in, just comes up.
Yeah.
It really hits hard. And there is my fight or flight system constantly on. And am I, in a subtle way, constantly controlling everything? This is
Right.
tiring. Can also be part, which really makes your life hard. And many women just subconsciously, they really withdraw, they isolate, they shut down. They don't, they don't even ask for help. So
Right.
it's so important that that we really talk about the balance and what we can do. So most importantly, don't suppress your symptoms. If you feel those symptoms, and you just said that, look into them. We
Yeah.
need to restore the signals. We need system. We need to understand what is our body trying to tell us. And
Yeah.
then when we looked into it and we feel, okay, this could be from my childhood. Oh, no, this is definitely something within my hormonal balance. Or this anxiety comes from this and that. But then let's go further, please. We 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 also can't restore the signal if we're constantly surrounded by noise. We are living in a really hormone hostile environment, if that makes sense. No one is talking about it. Sometimes we do. If you have your daily hormone injected chicken, if you have your collagen whatsoever powders with antibiotics, fillers, and microplastic, and you have
Right.
your so-called clean supplements full of
Hmm.
binders and titanium dioxide and maltodextrin, and you have your maybe heavy metal foods from cookware, cosmetics, and then yeah, blue light, disturbing sleep, flattering your cortisol levels. It's there are so many things which have a heavy impact. So it's
Right.
not a conspiracy; it's literally chemistry. In short, um, make sure you support your estrogen levels, your
Yeah.
progesterone, your testosterone, your BHEA, your cortisol levels, because then you are prepared, and you don't end up like, it doesn't end up like you get a slap into the face. And it's quite easy to find help if you look into how nutrition would help you, or of course make sure you hydrate a lot. You even need to hydrate more. Do your blood work. Make sure you do it regularly when you're 30, 35 plus. Check where you're at, and then work on your nutrition to rebuild your hormonal harmony.
Yes.
Eat healthy fats. Make sure you have a lot of green healthy veggies and bitters like rocket salad and healthy greens. Make sure you have clean protein. And I'm not per se talking about meat, right? There's so much
Right.
healthy protein in peas.
Yes.
Best organic peas, of course. Yeah, and then
Hmm.
your polyphenols like turmeric and berries. It's very important. And the good news also, you have them in like flavonoids, for example, in dark chocolate. You can even spoil yourself and enjoy that journey. Then make
Hmm.
sure your magnesium, your B complex, your electrolytes, they get enough attention, and you take care of them to really prevent that you are, for example, just running into a depression because
Right.
your B complex and your whole system needs B complex support. And then
Right.
yeah, you can start working on your phytoestrogens by eating healthy and very consciously, very special phytogens, and also products like we have, for example, aguaje, which are very well known in Peru or in South America. They have that as a fruit, luckily. It's very, very powerful in phytoestrogens. So if you're
Hmm.
like, okay, where the heck do I get estrogen from in a natural way? Take aguaje. If you have access to the fruits, access the fruits. If you don't have,
Right.
find good products without filler. Aguaje is a very, very good solution. This will help you. And then movement, strengthen your
Hmm.
training, walk outdoor, shake your body, do some somatic practices, yoga and breath work to really feel where you're at. It sounds so random. Oh, in the next podcast, they told us again to do some yoga. Hey, have you ever tried real yoga? Did you really understand the power of breathing correctly? How immediately your nervous system calms down when you do that properly. Just you see, I was excited speaking, and now one breath is different. I feel different. Maybe the audience perceives me differently. There's so much power in that. There's a
Yes.
lot we can do in a natural way. And from woman to woman, loving yourself. I'm 43 now. I'm premenopause. I have just tiny symptoms, but those are really, they're upsetting me. And
Hmm.
I work with them, not against them. And
Right.
I hope we speak about that because I'm so excited about to speak
Yeah.
generally that it's a great thing. Menopause is a great thing. It's not only bad.
A lot of people don't even know when they're beginning to go through menopause. I know at 39, I was starting to notice symptoms of menopause, and I had no clue. I was totally
Yeah.
oblivious of what was going on. I just
Mhm.
noticed a lot of changes, and I wasn't happy with those changes, but I had no clue. And menopause was the last thing on my mind because
Of
it was
course.
like you said, it was because I was 39 and my mother had a totally different experience and she didn't
Mhm.
experience menopause till later on in her life. So I didn't think because my mother went through it so late, I didn't think that I was going to go through it this early. And it was a totally different, experience for me. What are some of the ways that women might understand that they are going through perimenopause and menopause? And what are some of the things, you mentioned a lot of things that they can do, but a lot of people are afraid to try things. And so what would you say to those women? Like for one, when they start seeing changes in their body, you mentioned going for blood work, should they immediately go for blood work and start to figure out what's going on in my body?
Yeah. So definitely, definitely. And I really, and this is where you really feel that I'm passionate about medicine. And it's not only about, oh yes, I'm an expert in holistic health, and I'm really towards nature and nature has the answer. Yes, it has. But it's so great you, that we get real answers when we check our blood. And I'm not talking about all your vitamin D and your thrombocytes or whatsoever. Make sure you check your hormonal levels, all your
Hmm.
hormone levels. It's very easy to figure out what kind of I don't even want to mention them now. We spoke about a few of them, but you really want to check on your pregnenolone, your DHEA, your estrogen, your testosterone, all these kind of um, these kind of hormonal levels, which we understand when we have the blood work done, they give us an indication where we are at. Because if this
Yeah,
is high, this creates that. If that is low, this creates this. So
yeah,
this is why I'm asking you and everybody out there and any doctor potentially listening here, how the hell can you ever prescribe something
yes.
without having checked the hormonal level of a
Hmm.
human being? And not only talking about women, but your question
Yeah,
was about women, so I'm answering this very specifically. It's
yeah,
impossible. I mean, even just baking a cake, you wouldn't just add salt and this and this and that. You would try to understand what is missing, huh?
right.
Why do we still accept, and this is where I ask everybody listening, hopefully, to take responsibility. Why do we even
Right.
accept to take something without knowing what are we lacking of? This is,
Yes.
please, girls, ladies, mans anyway, but out there, check your blood, do your blood work, and check on your hormonal levels, because then you can start working on them early, and you can go and start doing your prevention. And that is
Yeah.
always in a smoother transition than when you're just sitting in the middle of the chaos emotionally in your relationship and everywhere.
Right.
And then you have to maybe really get a tougher support with hormonal special prescriptions or whatever harder stuff, right? Which
Yeah.
I don't say it's bad, but per se, if you can avoid it, please avoid it, because this is really
Right.
changing you and it's numbing you and it has side effects. It's a matter of a
Right.
fact.
Right. Now, this is something that I love about you is that the work and how passionate you are when you do this work. And, and
Thanks God
how
it's a podcast, Stacey. They don't see me doing all these things with my. maybe in YouTube, but I want to wake the people up. Actually, it's not a funny topic. It's a topic I want to cry and scream because I feel so sorry. And now, me being 40 plus, and I see more and more my friends just literally falling apart. And I just had a conversation with one of my very closest friends, 50 years old, and she's this and that, and I'm like, hey, come on, girl, you're in menopause. What? You
Yeah.
crazy? I have my menstruation, everything is perfect, my libido is perfect. This is like, okay, and what is about all the rest? She was
Yeah.
close to getting antidepressants. So it's,
Yeah.
yeah, we're not facing it. And I feel maybe there's some shame as well.
I think so. Honestly, I
Mm.
really do. Because even when I would go out to dinner with my friends, and a lot of them were going through menopause, and they
Mm.
would talk about it. And so I would ask, "What are you doing about it?" And a lot of them weren't doing much, or they would just listen to what their doctor said and do what their doctor said, and it wasn't much. It was just, it was either a medication, or it was, or they were just, or they weren't really doing anything. They were just dealing with it. I had a friend who would go through hot flashes out of the blue, and all of a sudden she would be just turning bright red, and she would be going like this, but she just dealt with it. She didn't do anything, to stop those hot flashes, and or decrease them from happening. And there's so much you can do. I really do think a lot of people feel shameful, and they shouldn't feel shameful. Like you said, it's something powerful, not shameful.
Oh no, and if we talk about shame, I really I want to invite everybody to listen, and especially the men. I don't know if any man would listen to Menopause podcast, but I believe many do because I have a few friends of mine now who reached out, and not only friends, also on our new channel. When people trying to get advice and they maybe open up more because it's obviously anonymous, so nobody knows where you are and who you are. And so we get all these questions, and you know what we get more and more? Men's reaching out.
Mm.
Men reaching out and saying, I don't know how to address it, but it's can I order love games also for my wife? And then we ask why, which situation you're in. Yeah, I don't know. Lately, there's a lot of vaginal dryness, and I feel it's painful for her, and then it's painful for me, and then I don't know. Maybe something is shifting within me, and now my problem is I also have issues with my erection, and because I'm irritated, maybe she doesn't like me anymore. She doesn't, this is affecting massively. So the woman is insecure. She wouldn't talk about it, and maybe she doesn't even know, or she's not aware. And even if
Right,
she is aware, she's trying to not talk with her man about it, or her husband about it, her partner about it. And the
right.
man can feel totally insecure, and very often
Yes.
have very big issues, very big issues. So not every man wants to take Viagra lifelong, knowing the, I call them potential side effects because I don't want to be in trouble with anybody, but we all know what we're
Yeah.
talking about. So yes, I feel very sorry for the man as well because they feel they're losing their woman, and the women are
Yeah.
changing.
Hmm.
Why is nobody providing any help for those mans and husbands out there? If we have no clue as women,
Yeah.
those poor guys, what do they have? I mean,
Exactly.
they know the word menopause if you're lucky,
Hmm.
right? And who gives them some help?
Yeah.
Nobody.
They
They're
they don't
super
know
alone.
what's. Hmm. They don't know what's going on in a woman's body. They have no clue, and they don't understand it. And, for women, I don't think women understand how shameful a man feels when they can't get a full erection,
Exactly.
and I've known men that have tried different things like
Yeah.
Viagra and other stuff, and they've gotten really bad side effects from it. They even had erections that wouldn't even stop. And, so they, and it does hurt the relationship. The woman gets frustrated, or the man thinks, oh, she doesn't love me, or I'm not good enough for her. And it starts to cause a lot of problems in the relationships. And I notice, a lot of times when I would write about erectile dysfunction, a lot of women answered back to me. And, it's the opposite for you when you talk about menopause. A lot of men are, so
Yeah,
it's something that
exactly.
they want to help each other. They want to get over this hump, but they just don't know what the right direction or what the right thing to do
Yeah.
is.
So really invite everybody listening, shout it out loud, speak about it. And you know, the taboo topic is only a taboo topic as long as we are allowing it. That's why, you
Yeah.
know, we say NOOT is for the mindful and the bold.
Yeah.
Mindful meaning, hey, hey, think about it, feel it, reflect, and then bold, speak about it, step up for yourself or for others. It's
Yes.
this responsibility. We can break this cycle. We can transform ourselves, you know. And I also really don't want to isolate men in this conversation. I really want to invite them into healing in this context and keeping their, yeah, their masculine power because we need you. We
Hmm.
need our partners. We need our husbands to hold us to navigate through this
Yes.
sacred, sacred transformation because actually
Exactly.
probably like get goosebumps talking about it. It's actually something beautiful, but
It
obviously there
is.
is no room to talk about something beautiful if you just feel if you're full of pain and hormonal disorders.
Yes, exactly. And it shouldn't be a taboo topic. It's part of a healthy relationship. And people shouldn't, I think it's just a generational thing because they didn't talk about it when they were younger and it, it carries over and some people just when because it's intimate, they get a little
Yeah,
bit, embarrassed to talk about it, but it's something beautiful that all couples experience and the problems
yeah,
that go along with it, we all experience. And it shouldn't be taboo. It should be something that
yeah,
we all talk about and we shouldn't feel shameful. We should feel, we should help each other and try to, come out with solutions like you're doing and be able to really work with each other and, emotionally and help each other, get
yeah,
through these things. And
yeah.
so, what solutions have you created with Newt to help people?
Um, First of all, what I really would want to do, because that triggered me now when you said the word shame, and I'm very happy to talk about the solutions we have in NOOT. But before we do that, I really wanna touch base on something which is very, very important. It's this shame and guilt topic, and you know, it's driven regarding menopause, and in the medical world, the medical world calls it menopause. It calls it a disline, so kind of a disorder. Something is wrong, and that is
Yeah.
the reason why we think, oh, now I'm in menopause. This is a disline. It's a disorder. It's a sickness. No,
Hmm.
please. I really want to invite you. That is a sacred initiation. It's
Yeah.
spiritually, and since thousands of years, menopause is a transformation. It's the
Yes.
initiation into your next evolution. It's the shift from, yeah, from reproduction to creation, from pleasing to presence, from being chosen to now
Yeah.
choosing yourself, embracing yourself.
Right.
So we really become powerful then, and our clarity sharpens, our truth rises, and even our sensuality and the way we feel and perceive ourselves differently because we no longer need to reproduce. We
Right.
can create, we no longer need to please. We know what's going on, we can be present.
Yes.
Ladies out there, be bold enough to embrace that and to
Yes.
talk about it because then you help the generation coming next to deal with it as it to deal with it as it is, as a
Yes.
sacred initiation. It's just a part of life, right? And the
Yes.
embodiment is your medicine. Do your rituals, dance, nourish your body. You're just rising into your power, into your fullest expression. And
Mhm.
yes, Stacey, I'm happy to talk about the new products. And thank you, really thank you for giving me the opportunity because yeah, it's great. It's great if you do what you love and then you're able to you make your living with it. And that is what we do with NOOT. And we have especially worked on products who support this phase.
Yes.
And you asked me what we have to offer. So it's really, and I said this at the beginning, it's about recovery, it's about prevention. Doesn't have to slap you in the face when you're ready.
Right.
And that's why we really wanted to make sure that the men's are seen. So yeah, let's talk about sex because no one else does. This
Yes,
vaginal
exactly.
pain, the low libido, the emotional withdrawal. This is where we worked because they affect both. This is
Yeah,
why NOOT and we worked on solutions, natural solutions for that. Especially men feel helpless, women feel ashamed. Yeah,
yeah.
and tools are some of our products. Obviously, is one of the product is called Menopause Harmony.
Hmm.
Regulates your mood, skin, sleep, libido, memory. We haven't talked about that. So many women suffer from brain fog. They feel
Yeah,
like, oh God, I'm getting dementia now. No, you don't, right? And it
right.
contains maca and the lemon balm, adaptogens, obviously. This product is designed to prepare and support you really through the shift. Then we have aguaje, which I'm taking at the moment. And aguaje is not per se only for premenopause.
Hmm.
It's really plumping your skin. It's a super gentle estrogenic supplement without any synthetics. It is
Hmm.
very, very rich in estrogens and phytoestrogens. We talked about it before. I love it because it makes the skin really look plump and healthy. And we have such funny comments. They see people like, oh, my boobs and my butt. And it's called the butt and boobs enhancer. I don't want to call it like that, but it's what it's doing. If you have this natural stimulation, and that's why we also have it and use it premenopause. Oh, my friend
Right.
just sitting next to me, she stops breastfeeding at the moment, so she uses now aguaje, combines it with Neuroflame to just balance her estrogen and estrogen levels and making sure that her body finds the new rhythm without breastfeeding the child. So it's not only for premenopause or menopause. Of course, adaptogens and nootropics, genius mushrooms, lion's
Hmm.
mane, reishi, cordyceps, helping for brain fog, for mood dips, emotional burnout, and important cognitive clarity. A lot of friends which are like, oh my God, I don't have any of this nonsense, but I feel like I got hit by a bus every morning. So
Yeah,
that really helps. And then we have Genius Mushrooms 2.0 as a powder because some of the women really want to mix it with their protein powders and enjoy their creamy treat every morning or their
yeah,
coffee. So you can have it in different ways. And then, yeah, I promised you, man, we talk about the mans too. We
yeah,
work. And besides menopause, this has nothing to do per se with menopause, but we talked about the effects. We worked on alpha male, which really helps men to regulate their stress, increase their libido, increase their performance.
yeah,
Also, when women, total different topic, but same at the end of the day, hormonal disbalances when women face issues with infertility or men face issues with infertility, right? You're not
yeah,
able to produce enough sperm, for example. Yeah, so Love Games is for both. It rebuilds this emotional and sexual connection really from the inside out because it flushes your genitals with blood and it really helps you to feel it more intense and yeah, have your libido more present. And then there are other things you can really do, and we discussed that at the beginning, besides supplements.
right.
And what we don't have in our portfolio, but what I really love is maca. I mean, we
Mm,
have it in one of our products, but just
yeah,
having itself for men is very, very, very powerful. And hydration, movement, and making sure you're in good relationship and in good hands, and not only with your partner. That is
yeah,
very important. And check out, do you have friends you can talk with about it? It's
right.
important. So yeah, this is what we offer in product solutions. But I want to encourage one more time, enjoy this journey and open up for the transformation because there's something beautiful coming.
Yes, and I agree so much with you. And people, they get so upset when they're going through menopause, but if you
Mhm.
take care of it the right way and you eat right, if you're exercising, if you're doing yoga, if you're meditating, if you're working on your breathing, if you're taking, supplements and doing the right thing that are going to help enhance your body and the way you feel mentally, and then it's going to help decrease the symptoms and make you feel whole again. It's not a bad thing because as we get older, we become, we start to fit in our own shoes and we become stronger, better, more powerful,
Yeah.
women. And, the only thing that holds us back is that sometimes the changes and the symptoms that we have to go through can hinder us, including the fatigue.
Yeah.
But we
Yeah.
if we use something like NOOT and we include all the different things that you mentioned earlier into our lives, we could really not look at this as a bad thing, but look at it as a new phase in our life and take care of the symptoms and enjoy the moment, enjoy this new phase in our life in a
Yeah.
positive way.
I cannot agree more. I love what you just said. Menopause isn't a dead end. It's really the fire before the phoenix. You see, I'm wearing my phoenix today. My husband represented it to me, and also very transformational phase in our
Yeah.
relationship. We're all going through this, right? And
Yes.
yeah, it's the fire before the phoenix, and
Exactly.
it's a powerful time. And I really want to emphasize one more time, at least get inspired by the idea that something beautiful is happening.
Yes, yes. And if we had to take today's conversation and you wanted to really emphasize on a couple important factors that you want people to remember from this conversation, what are some things you'd like people to really remember as they walk away listening to this
Mm.
conversation?
It's about prevention
Mhm.
again and again.
Yeah.
It's about conscious eating
Yes.
again and again. And
Hmm.
eating not only my chicken, my this, my that, my salmon. It's about what do I eat, how much do I eat, when do I eat, and what do I combine to make sure that my estrogens, my hormonal levels are stimulated.
Yes.
Then, next thing, make sure you have a life balance, and I'm not talking about, I hate the word work life balance. Come on, we all hardworking women. You are, I am, hardworking man out there. Life balance could be, what is your little ritual for yourself?
Yes.
Don't put the connection to yourself.
Yes.
Hug yourself, take a deep breath. I feel like, okay, hey, here I am. I've been through so much. Be
Yes.
proud of yourself and
Yes.
just feel the spark within you and hold on to that. And that is part of this feminine rising and evolvement, especially into this new time. Don't judge it. Speak freely about it, and you'll be astonished how many people will resonate with you. Open
Yes.
up, talk about it, talk with other men about it, encourage your husband to talk about it.
Right.
Sit with your partner and say, listen, I'm afraid I'm going through this. Can you help me? Give
Yes.
your man, your partner, the chance to help you and to support you.
Yes.
Don't hide, right? Open up. And yeah, and then, when you do this with you, as always, Stacey, you do
Hmm.
it for the world and for
Yes.
every woman out there and for our consciousness and for everything. Yeah, for everything what we really stand and live for. So menopause is nothing bad. It's
Right.
something great. It's a great shift. Look into it from the beginning. And yes, of course, there are a lot of tools, and we've discussed them at length. And I'm very excited that we were really bold enough to get it out there and bring it to the point
Yes.
and speak about all these taboos. Hopefully, no longer a taboo.
Yes. And I encourage people, if they have questions, to either contact Dia or contact me so I could forward the questions to Dia and, feel free to ask any questions that, that you have concerns with, because, there's no questions you should feel embarrassed about. We all go through the same things and we all feel the same way and we all have similar thoughts. And so please reach out to either Dia or myself and I'll forward the information to her. And can you tell people, the different services that you provide, the different products that you provide? We talked about all the products now, but where can they find them?
Yeah, so what you can do, first of all, I think what you said is very important. How would people get help? Even though we don't give classical, because we're not allowed medical advice, but we can be there, we can resonate, we can understand, we can empathize, inspire, and of
Mhm.
course, based on fact, also say, look into that and that.
Yeah.
And this, you can easily do that. You go to www.noot.us, and there you have a section where you can just reach out to us. And every email will be treated very confidentially. You have an amazing team. And then we have doctors on our board, which we're going to speak to if it's more like a psychological issue, or it's more like an epigenetic or whatever kind of issue, ADHD, whatever it is, right? And then we answer these questions with the best of our knowledge. And then, yes, if we have products like answers in products, which we believe it will support the condition, then of course we support there as well. But also, I want to emphasize one more time, mans, reach out as well. We're here and we're happy to support as much as we can.
I love it. I love it. This has been amazing, Dia. I thank you so much for coming on the show. I thank you for
You're
just being
welcome.
you. I am so excited. I've been trying your products, I've been using them, and I do see a difference. And it feels so good to use the products. I've been using them for just a short time because I just recently got them, but I do see a difference. And I just want to say thank you because it means a lot to me because this was, in the beginning, it was a tough time. And even like when certain symptoms pop up, sometimes it could be a challenge, but if we can, work together and understand what we're going through and take the initiative to do something about it, it could easily go away and we can just resume our normal lives and live the life we want. So that's what you're helping women do. And I thank you for that. And I thank you just for being you. And I'm so looking forward to, our future podcast where we'll be talking more in depth about this. And
Well,
I'm really excited and I thank you so
excited
much.
too. Thank you too, Stacey. And what we totally forgot, we share the podcast, right? And we share what we do now. We
Yes.
also great snippets because your team is working on it, my team is working on it, and we get an extract because not everybody maybe has the time to listen to the full podcast. So they will find it on your, but also on our Instagram, Noot at World. Sorry, at Nude World, you'll find it on Instagram. You find a lot of helpful information around that topic as well, and not product driven, maybe more driven from
Mhm.
from the symptoms and from the needs people would have, because this is what we also really want to do. We want to support. So yeah, I thank you because it's you have the platform, and that's where we can open up and speak about it. Very honored and grateful that you had us today.
Thank you. This has been wonderful. And I look forward to our next podcast together. You have a wonderful day, Dia.
You have a wonderful day too. Bye, Stacey.
Bye bye.